So then I would do something like this. I'd snap it, and then I'd probably just try to bulldoze in here, right? So if we look at the replay, right, pretty good, pretty ideal. But as you see here, right, I brought him down in the box, and then I spied him, so he just immediately kind of comes down, right? And he's actually the one who made the play, okay, which is very interesting. But as you see, that's why you want to spy your safety. Boom, you spy him, and he'll definitely help with the run defense. And then, like I said, my job is to shoot the gap, okay? That was kind of a bad gap shoot, right? But that's fine, okay? Actually, if anything, I should have shot this gap right here, and I would have had a tackle for loss. But nonetheless, right, my job is to shoot the gap, and then as you see, the free safety, because I have him in that zone, then he kind of comes out this way. So that way, if the running back goes this way, it's the safety has a chance rather than the safety being all the way back here. You know what I mean? So if you look at it from a whole, watch the strong safety, right? So let's watch the strong safety. How do I do this? I'm not exactly the camera guy. All right, so watch the strong safety, right? So strong safety, boom. He shoots down. He's actually the one who made that play, okay? That was a bad gap shoot by me. So if it's a bad user gap shoot, then your safety will still come down. That's why you want to spy him, and he'll be right there. Great run defense, okay? Now watch his free safety, right? We have him in that zone. We have him to that zone drop. So boom, watch the free safety, and he goes out wide in case the running back is able to go out wide, okay? YouTube, what's going on, guys? It's Joe Simmer. No face cam today, boys. This is going to be a quick video, but I just wanted to show you guys something you can use to help with your run defense. I know a lot of you guys are having trouble with run defense, okay? Especially in dollar, okay? So I'm going to show you guys just a tip that I do. Man, it works like a charm, especially if you watch my videos, you'll see me do it too. But, right, we'll start in dollar, okay? So dollar, auto flip off, and then baseline, okay? And so we're going to come out in DB Fire, right? So you're going to press and do the typical DB Fire setup. This is basically the entire setup of DB Fire, right? And so whenever you're on defense, it's, sometimes you'll even stand right here, right? And then you'll just kind of, try to glitch this guy out so that way you can get the tackle. Right, and sometimes it works, but other times, right, like let's see if it works here, right? If I just juke, right, I could, make some, I'm using two controllers too, but, I can make something happen. It's not, the best run defense, right? So I bring this guy every time, and let's just say, every time for some reason you just can't stop the run, okay? And let's say you do stop it at $1, well, then what I can do is I can go here. Okay, so if I'm on offense, then I can come over here and I'll motion snap while he's in motion, and then I'll just, I'm picking up a solid, 8 yards, every time. So in order to stop that, there are a few things you can do. Obviously, you can blitz everybody and stuff like that, but that's just not a good idea because if it's a play action, it's probably a touchdown. So you'd probably want to keep that stock. And then, shifting your line is not the best idea because if it's a read option or, my bad, or if I notice this or whatever, then I can just block the running back, quick snap, wait for this guy to get picked up, and then I can kind of like scramble with it. If I had Lamar Jackson, I can scramble to the right or something. So basically, in order to help run defense, what I would recommend, there are two ways to do it. Not exactly ideal. All right, but the first one would be to do something like this, okay, where you spy one of the safeties. Now, you're going to leave a lot open, okay, but like I said, when this safety's in the box and if you spy him, sometimes he shoots down in the box a little bit. Okay, so let me kind of click off over here. All right, and so I'm doing that. All right, as you see him shoot down in the box right there, he like immediately shot down. And if you did it on both safeties, that would work. Like I said, it's not ideal, but if you're desperate for a stop, you'll see this guy whenever he's in a spy, he just immediately shot down in the gap rather than, a late reaction on this guy's part. So as you see, right, that's kind of one of the things that I can do or that I like to do is spy him and then boom, he immediately shoots down. Okay, so that helps. But what you want to do is, in my opinion, is you would want to switch between dime and dollar, okay? All right, guys, and real quick, I forgot to mention something, okay? I wanted to mention something. There's another way that you can kind of have run defense in dollar. Is this cover one robber, okay? So cover one robber, doesn't matter which way you run it, but having 5 on curl flats are very important, okay? And I'll tell you why, okay? So let's go ahead and let's hop into just cover one. All right, so, right, let's see. All right, so this is the defense, right? Right, so let's say I'm blitzing heavy, right? I'm blitzing the slot corners and robber. Now, after I bring the safeties down in the box, something that you can do is you can spy the strong safety, and then what I'll do is I'll put the free safety in a curl flat, okay? And the reason you want the curl flat to 5 is because sometimes if you don't have it set to 5, what'll happen is when the ball snapped, he'll kind of just stand here and freeze. It's really weird. I'm not sure why it does that, but the reason I have him in a curl flat and set to 5, you got to make sure the zone drop is set to 5, but he'll actually kind of shoot this way. That way, if the running back breaks it, that way, all you have to do is if you really want to stop the middle, then you can pinch your line. Like I said, I don't really recommend it, but let's say it's a 3rd and 1. Then you can pinch your D line, right? You'll use this guy, and you'll try to shoot the gap, right? You always want to use a running back side. But let's say, see if I can get in here without getting offsides, but let's say the running back, right? Let's say he gets the ball, and then boom, he like somehow breaks it to the outside with these 2 blockers on the left. Well, then your free safety has a chance of getting a stop, okay? So let's basically just replay it. So I'm going to show you how to set it up, right? Like I said, it's the same zone drops, but just make sure you have 5 on curl flats so that way this works nonstop, okay? And let's say I'm expecting a run. Let's say it's 3rd and 1 or something, right? I'm just going to pinch and do this. I'll put the free safety like that. And then, you could run it like this, or you could even, you could even blitz the slot corners if you have time. But like I said, you will be leaving that slot guy open, so you're going to have to keep an eye out for that, okay? So maybe you have a safety right here, then you man him up with this guy, okay? So you have to get fast with your adjustments, but most importantly, I don't want to get into the adjustments. I want to get into the safety and the spy, and then the curl flat, okay? Because that way, I don't have to worry about shooting all the way over here with my user. I can just focus on shooting the gap and then leaving it up to my free safety, okay? So then I would do something like this. I'd snap it, and then I'd probably just try to bulldoze in here, right? So if we look at the replay, right, pretty good, pretty ideal. But as you see here, right, I brought him down in the box, and then I spied him, so he just immediately kind of comes down, right? And he's actually the one who made the play, okay, which is very interesting. But as you see, that's why you want to spy your safety. Boom, you spy him, and he'll definitely help with the run defense. And then, like I said, my job is to shoot the gap, okay? That was kind of a bad gap shoot, right? But that's fine, okay? Actually, if anything, I should have shot this gap right here, and I would have had a tackle for loss. But nonetheless, right, my job is to shoot the gap, and then as you see, the free safety, because I have him in that zone, then he kind of comes out this way. So that way, if the running back goes this way, it's the safety has a chance rather than the safety being all the way back here. You know what I mean? So if you look at it from a whole, watch the strong safety, right? So let's watch the strong safety. How do I do this? I'm not exactly the camera guy. All right, so watch the strong safety, right? So strong safety, boom. He shoots down. He's actually the one who made that play, okay? That was a bad gap shoot by me. So if it's a bad user gap shoot, then your safety will still come down. That's why you want to spy him, and he'll be right there. Great run defense, okay? Now watch his free safety, right? We have him in that zone. We have him to that zone drop. So boom, watch the free safety, and he goes out wide in case the running back is able to go out wide, okay? So those are just, basically, this was a tip that I forgot to show, but enjoy the rest of the video. Dime is extremely underrated because of this DB Blitz 0, okay? So this is basically DB Fire, just with, instead of DB Fire, you have 2 linebackers, okay? Instead of 2 linebackers, all you do is you have 1 linebacker. But what happens is if you have guys with crazy block shed, like I have Carter and Fletcher Cox here, so their block shed is pretty good. And then I also have the edge threat on Reddick. So I'll come out in DB Blitz 0, and it's basically the same thing, okay? Except what I'll do here, right, is I'll do this. In dollar, I don't really like pinching my D-line because you can easily just, if I'm on offense, I could just like double, Reddick or whatever and just roll out to the right. But it's basically the same thing, right? You have the slot corners blitzing. Okay, so as you see, Bradbury's blitzing and Slay is blitzing. Okay, and so, but what this does is that this helps a lot with run defense. Having 4 people on the line helps with run defense. And if you want, you can bring these guys down in the box, and you could run, you could run kind of like a hybrid. Actually, I didn't mean to do that. The button switch. Interesting. Okay, so I wanted a, let's see. Yes, this is what I wanted right here. So you can kind of, if you're fast with your adjustments, and you can run it like this, okay? So it's basically DB fire, right? So yeah, so this is basically DB fire, but in dime, okay? Or you could just go into cover 2. If you wanted to, you could go into dime and go to cover 2, and then you could just blitz the slot corners. That would actually be an easier way. But I'm trying to just show you the run defense. Let me click off on this guy, okay? And so we're going to run it like this, and as you see, it does help a lot with the run defense. So if you guys are a dollar, like if you're a dollar user, let's see, Tampa 2, okay? Boom, and then it's basically set up, okay? I blitz my user, and then I basically pinch and crash up. I'm not a fan of QB containing this year, okay? Sometimes it doesn't really work, so I would just crash up. And now the contains won't go away. Awesome. Okay. So yeah, so this would actually be an easier way to do it, just to come out in Tampa 2, blitz the slot corners, and then just with this user, try to shoot the gap. Okay. And then let's say I audible to bunch. I'm actually going to try to break this, right? But with your user, what you would want to do is you would want to kind of try to shoot the gap, right? But like I said, it's the run defense and dime is just so much better, man. So that's just a quick tip, man. Basically, is just if you're playing dollar, right? So if I'm right here and I'm in cover 2 or whatever, right? So let's say I'm in dollar, and he's he's running a lot. You could probably switch to dime or something like that. I don't recommend doing it this way. Like, I don't recommend coming out in dollar and switching to dime, because then your alignment's going to be all messed up. So I would rather you call a timeout. All right, and then you basically just sub in your best gap shooters or your best block shutters here, and then you'll just come out in like Tampa 2, right? It's basically the same thing. And then you'll bring these guys down in the box. Bring these guys down in the box. You could even, like I said, the whole shifting the line thing, I really don't recommend it unless, the only time I would ever recommend it is unless it's somebody who can't scramble, okay? But for the most part, just pinching and then crashing up, okay? I wouldn't worry about the QB contain, and then I would just stand right here. I'm actually going to try to shoot this gap, and then I would try to shoot the gap. As you see, I kind of shot the gap, okay? So it just helps a lot with run defense, but that's just a quick video for today, guys. Hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you learned something. If you're new, subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.